Moms need to be millionaires because that is the shortest, fastest, easiest path for us to change the world. Why? This is a trap that I see in all the moms and a lot of females, and it drives me crazy. It's like, well, I'm gonna change the world by giving and being a good person. Yes, that's true. And you could maximize that times millions if you have also the monetary resources. There are some studies that I'm fascinated with where they put female and male on the same executive role, on the same level of 7-figure businesses, and track their actions within 1 to 3 to 5 years. The female role does over 70% more impact in their community, in society, on environment than their male. And then that good girl syndrome is that way where we are the good girl. And this happened. This is the example that I put, and let me know if this happened to you. How many times I've been in a restaurant where they bring me a plate of food that I order and it's not good. I didn't like it. And the waitress came and say like, everything is okay? And you're like, yes, thank you. I'm guilty. And then sometimes I call myself like, you know what? No, I didn't like it. I know that is what I ordered, but it's not what I expected. In small things, because I believe that how we do anything is how we do everything. In small things like that, we are showing up that we have that good girl syndrome, that why is holding us back and attaching to the perfectionism and the procrastination, that we are not feeling comfortable to claim our voice and say, these are my boundaries. This is what I want.
Hey there, I'm Kaylin Wood, and this is Money Matters for Moms, the show where busy moms turn overwhelm into abundance. Each week we'll talk side hustles, saving hacks, wealth tips, and some energy tips to help make it all stick. Real tools for real financial freedom. No ramen required. I'm here with Jo Peters. She's a transformational trainer and best-selling author. She's worked with companies as different as PepsiCo and Mindvalley and has coached over 15,000 people on 4 continents. She also hosts a TV show called Mom Fit with Jo Peters that has 1 million views a week. So Jo, welcome, and can you tell us why Mom Fit is so important to you?
Thank you so much, Kaylin, for having me here with your audience. And I love the work that you are doing, empowering moms to have financial freedom. MomFed started as my way to give back to community and my philanthropic work after I had a wonderful pregnancy, wonderful birth, and then the 4th trimester hit me like a wall of bricks, and I struggled with so many things. Part of my personality as a ruler and my archetypes is always engineering and re-engineering where the gap was. And for me was that I was not aware of some of those things that nobody talk about. So my business part of giving back to the community was creating this show that airs in Singo TV to invite experts like you and other females to talk with moms about all these topics that nobody talks, normalize the bad and the ugly that sometimes we don't talk about, and then allow them to actually be more prepared than what I was, and then make sure that part of the slogan of MomFed is winning the marathon of motherhood without burnout. Because you and me working with moms, we know that motherhood is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And as a marathon, we need to have additional support to be able to finish a race without burning out and losing ourselves. So that is part of what the TV show is all about.
That's fantastic. And that actually leads into the next thing I wanted to ask you, which is one of your sayings is you can have it all without doing it all. Can you tell me a little about that?
I love that. And that is part of, I'm a little a feminist. I think that that is coming from me breaking the rules and understanding that we as moms and as females are being for decades and centuries playing a game with rules that were not designed for us. They were game and rules that were designed and created for male by male. And then we keep trying that. And it's been very clear for me with my clients that we are right now in 21st century in 2 main groups. We have the moms that still believe that it's not possible to have it all, that still believe that they have to compromise. Examples of that is, for example, Indra Nooyi, the CEO of Pepsi, still, she's an advocate for that. And she say, you cannot have it all. You need to choose. So we have a big group of women that says, you cannot have it all. Or very common, you can have it all, but not at once. Again, the mindset of you have to compromise, you have to sacrifice something that you want. And then the other group is the group that, in my opinion, is even more painful because they are the more advanced women that are ready to fight against the society and say, no, I can have it all. But then they get in the trap of saying, but the only way that I'm going to do it is by doing it all. So they go into this race of trying to have it all by doing it all, and they lose the race because then the burnout and the exhaustion caught up with them before they reach having it all. And then we go back into a full circle when they get defeated, then immediately their mind and people around them say, see, it's not possible. You cannot have it all. So the intention is teach both circles that first is possible. What is not possible is that you do it all. And part of that having it all without doing it all is understanding what having it all means to you, because it means something different to you, Caitlin, to me, to Teresa, to Sarah. I was actually very surprised last week. I run in my social media a question about it. And it was as simple as, if you have a magic wand, what have it all will mean to you? And there was people that didn't know. There was people that immediately asked for help for their families or world peace or other things outside them. So it's part of starting to understand that have it all means something different, and that I need to be clear of what that means to me instead of comparing it to what means to you, and start trying to change your definition of what having it all is. That is what we do with social media and with all these stars. And then start trying to live a life that is actually not in line with what actually is important for me versus what is important for you. That will replace into what having it all means to each of us and why it's possible to achieve that.
Absolutely. Well, and you said that having it all is different for each person, but you believe that one thing is important for everyone, that all moms need to be millionaires. Why is that?
If I had a magic wand, that would be the one that I will do. Moms need to be millionaires because that is the shortest, fastest, easiest path for us to change the world. Why? This is a trap that I see in all the moms and a lot of females, and it drives me crazy. It's like, well, I'm gonna change the world by giving and being a good person. Yes, that's true. And you could maximize that times millions if you have also the monetary resources. There are some studies that I'm fascinated with where they put female and male on the same executive role, on the same level of 7-figure businesses, and track their actions within 1 to 3 to 5 years. The female role does over 70% more impact in their community, in society, on environment than their male. Just because of how our brain work. I was talking early in another show about this, the female leader and the male leader mind. The female leader brain works into nurture, grow, help, community. As soon as we have money, as soon as we have millions, as soon as we have that, we immediately start thinking who I can help, what organization can I donate to, what organization I can help, what event I can create. Males, their male leadership is more about providing. So when they have that same amount of abundance, they are thinking on providing for their own family. So they're thinking about the trust for their grandkids. And I'm not saying that is one is bad and the other one is good. I'm saying that as more of us moms are millionaires at that level, as easier it's going to be for us to completely shift the course of where the world is going into things like inclusion, equity, options, environment. Is just because one of my mentors says it's not the money that you have, is what you do with it. And when we are talking about that level of 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures, all that money can be used not only for you to have everything that you want and have it all, but also for you to do ripple effect and helping others. Imagine how amazing it will be for you to say, hey, I have it all. I have a 7-figure business, 8-figure business, and I am going to start being an angel investor. And I'm going to start plan seeding $100,000, $200,000 on business of moms that are just growing. We as females had that wide in our brain of helping each other, of community. For us is we grow together. For males, it's more like I grow, you lose. It's more a competition of win lose in a male world, in a male leadership. For us as mom, it's not like that. For us, is we win together. I win when you win. How I can help you? Let's gonna grow together. Let's gonna make this happen. So that is why I am a true believer that every single mom needs to be a millionaire, should be a millionaire.
I love it. I love it. Well, let's talk about one of the things that sometimes gets in the way of women growing. So, perfectionism. Is that a trait that women should strive for?
I am Joe Peters, and I am a perfectionist in recovery. That is the first thing that I need to take. I think that is one of those, I call them rules, garbage rules. That is something that it was brainwashing our brain since we were little girls. And it was brainwashing our brain as a trait to be proud of. Wow, you are so oriented to detail. Wow, you are so perfectionist. Oh, you are always aiming to do the best. I actually think that developing of perfectionist is not a trait to be proud. It's actually one of the things that hold us back because it's a symptom of us not being able to feel enough ever. And anybody that is listening to me, I'm a perfectionist in recovery. I know very close to my heart how that perfectionist is holding me back because it's part of that I'm not good enough. So if it cannot be perfect, then I don't try. And if it's not going to be perfect, I'm not going to launch the program. And if it's not perfect, one of the things that is crazy for me, for business owners and for employees, a male business owner will pitch their business and will ask for investment on others if he had around 50-60% of the requirements from the grant. They will just apply. A woman will only apply if she had 100% of the requirements. If there are 10 requirements and she checked 9 of them and the last is not something that she had in her business yet, she will just keep scrolling and don't apply. And the same happened with employees that apply to jobs. So it's a lifelong journey into realizing that even when we think that is something that was good and help us, it actually create more pain and more suffering throughout our life than the benefit that gives us. Because it's being that holding us back of fear of if it's not perfect, then I'm not worth it. If it's not perfect, it's showing that I'm not enough. And that fear is so strong sometimes that make us be our worst critics, make us less likely to launch and promote ourselves, make us less likely to do great marketing and be in front of people because we are all the time being self-conscious to be perfect. What if this go wrong? What if this go wrong? So if any of your moms resonate with that, I will say, join my peer perfectionist in recovery club. Like literally start going into that deep work of healing that inner child to make sure that you feel that you are enough. And then when you feel that you are enough and worthy, then you start releasing that pressure of it has to be perfect. I have to be perfect.
Great. And when we're talking about perfectionism, how are perfectionism and procrastination related to each other?
I love that question. It's funny, right? Because perfectionist for us females, we all feel like, oh, it's good. Oh, you are oriented to detail. So perfectionist is when then I'm not enough trait is praised as something good. So when I am feeling that I'm not enough, and then Because of that, I aim to an unrealistic expectation. Procrastination, I see it as the other side of the coin. It's exactly coming from the same root of I'm not enough. That because I'm afraid that it's not going to be perfect, because I am afraid that it's not going to be good enough, because I'm afraid that I'm not enough, I procrastinate. I put it down. I get entertained with other things. I postpone. The issue is that procrastination is not socially normalized. So if you're a procrastinator, you are lazy. You are doing something wrong. You need to fix your procrastination and start executing. You cannot leave things to the last minute. The real cause is they both are results of the same root cause of is that fear of not being enough. And both are holding us back. How? The perfectionist feel that is never enough. So it work and work and work and work and work to make it perfect, but never feel that it's good enough to let it go to the world. The procrastinator is as afraid as the perfectionist that is not going to be enough. And because of that, ignore it, ignore it, ignore it, ignore it, because if I don't ignore it, it doesn't exist and I don't have to face that it's not enough. And both of them, what they are doing is keeping us tied, keeping our hands tied into what our true potential is, because they keep us playing small.
Wow. And how does the good girl syndrome tie into that?
The good girl syndrome. The good girl syndrome, I think that is the origin of the perfectionist and the procrastinator. The good girl syndrome is something that unfortunately is left over from the last 3-4 generations. It's not actually that old, because if you see the Greek history, the Romans, the Egyptians, the female and the male were a lot more equal. It's just been in the last couple of centuries that is shifting, and it's shifting into being a good girl. And then it's things like, if you are a mom, all of you are moms, I will invite you to start paying attention when you buy clothes for your kids. What kind of messaging is in your boys' clothes versus your girls' clothes? The boys' message is always be brave, strong, hero, fight, adrenaline, rush. They jump and hurt themselves. Get up, try again. That is the message for them. What is the message for the girls? Be pretty, be nice, the ballerina, be gentle, be a good girl, don't speak too loud, don't climb the tree. So we start at very young age understanding that being a good girl means putting other people's needs and desires before us. And that gets even maximized when we are moms, because then we have a baby that says, yeah, his needs are more important than me. As a perfectionist in recovery, as a good girl trying to drop the good girl syndrome, for example, I was talking about this at lunch today. I sacrificed my mental health with depression and anxiety to save my breastfeeding journey with my baby. Because for me, in that moment, as a good girl, it was more important for me that he had his breast milk than stop that in order to take care of my depression and my anxiety. And we see it all the time with moms. It started when we were little, and then when we are moms, it's almost like they turn the heat at the maximum when we are moms with those little ones. And then that good girl syndrome is that way where we are the good girl. Oh, and this happened. This is the example that I put, and let me know if this happened to you. How many times I've been in a restaurant where they bring me a plate of food that I order and it's not good. I didn't like it. And the waitress came and say, like, everything is okay? And you're like, yes, thank you. I'm guilty. And then sometimes I call myself like, you know what? No, I didn't like it. I know that is what I ordered, but it's not what I expected. In small things, because I believe that how we do anything is how we do everything. In small things like that, we are showing up that we have that good girl syndrome, that why is holding us back and attaching to the perfectionism and the procrastination, that we are not feeling comfortable to claim our voice and say, these are my boundaries. This is what I want. This is what I don't want. In regards of raising our kids, in regards of how our family our in-laws handle our family and our kids, in terms of our business, in terms of our clients, of saying to our clients, hey, no, I'm not going to answer you on a Saturday or a Sunday because that is my weekend and I'm not working. On terms of our health, when we are trying to eat healthy, but then, oh, but Kaylee make this cake for Christmas and she spent 2 days making it. I have to have one piece and not only one, but two. So she's sure that I really like it. But I don't want to eat it. But I played that good girl, good. I'm going back into when I was 4 years old that I didn't climb the tree and I just stay and be nice and was a good girl, hoping for that reinforcement from maternal or paternal figure in our life that says, yeah, you are a good girl. You are enough. You are loved.
Mm. And my understanding is your free gift is going to help women to shift that. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Early on in my journey on this, I get frustrated with a lot of coaching and tools that were like, oh, stop doing this and this and this and this, and then it's going to be better. And I will be like, if it was that easy, I will already be doing it. I know I don't want to be perfectionist. I know it's painful. I know that it is holding me back. Yes, I know that I need to stop doing it. The problem is not that I need to stop doing it. The problem is how I do it. So what I created was a very simple, because we are moms, we don't have time to read 700 pages. Like, I'm sorry. The best level of my ebook will be an audiobook so they can hear it in the car. But for now, it's a short ebook where I share 5 secrets of every perfectionist and procrastinator can stop doing. And the key magic is, what are the 5 things that they can do instead? Because in order of us to change a habit, the magic part of that is the easiest way for us to change a habit is eliminate it and replace it with something new. That is the part that is missing. People eliminate it and then gets empty. So it's very easy for it to grow back. But when we eliminate it and put something else in place as a new habit, then when it tries to come in, there is not a space there because now we have that. So that is my free gift for all your beautiful mamas, and is a ebook where they can find my 5 tips and what they can do instead to stop perfectionism and start doing the recovery from that not that good trait.
That is brilliant, Jo. Thank you so much. And thank you for coming here and speaking with us.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Like I said before, the work that you're doing is needed in the world, and every woman that we can help to get the confidence to claim their financial freedom and have it all is one step closer of us to change the world for a better place for us and our children.
100%.
Thanks for tuning in to Money Matters for Moms. I hope today's episode left you inspired to take one little step forward. Check out the resources in the show notes and share this with another mom who's ready to thrive. You've got this, because abundance is easier than you might think.